Om Araham. I am Gangaram, and I want to introduce today the third teaching of Samanji on the mind. To all intents and purposes and for simplicity, we can say simply then that the mind is that set of faculties which enables us to think and feel, imagine and remember. Mind has very important utility. We need it for all practical purposes. In order to get to work on time, for example, to meet deadlines, or to plan for the future, or even set goals, we need the aid of the mind. So the mind in itself, as Samanji often says, is like an innocent child. It can be used and is necessary for all kinds of positive purposes. We can't do without it. However, the mind often troubles us. We are often troubled by the mind. And this is because, according to Samanji, when that happens, the mind itself is like a master over us. We become like slaves to the mind. For example, when somebody hurts us or mistreats us, somebody especially we care about, our mind works on this over and over again. It's difficult for us to forget it. We can't sleep sometimes because of it. And often it will make us angry or create other kinds of negative emotion. This is when the mind is the master and we are simply the slaves of the mind, of the mental activity that is so negative. Equally, we often turn to our own faults. We look inside, and there's a helpful place for that, to be aware of how to change and do better. But more than often, we overthink our faults to such an extent that we become depressed, or some other negative emotion arises. However, Samanji is always very positive on these matters, and of course teaches us that there are many solutions that we can use to manage the mind in a very positive and successful way, so that it becomes, as it truly should be, an innocent child, where we are the masters of the mind. There are various techniques to enable us to manage the mind in this kind of way, in a positive direction. They all emanate or arise from various types of meditational technique. Now, a lot of people, of course, may not have practiced meditation before. And if this is the case, the first thing you need to consider is finding some space and time within your daily program in order to have, say, for example, 15 or 30 minutes to yourself alone. And ideally, for this, you would go to a quiet place, perhaps your bedroom or some other room in the home, where you can just be with yourself. So sitting alone for 15 or 30 minutes in the day, but not just doing nothing, here you would be doing one of these techniques which I'm now going to suggest, which come from Samanji's teachings. The first one, when you're sitting quietly alone in your room, is to simply chant Om. If you chant Om for cycles of 10 or 15 minutes, covering around half an hour, this will be the first step that enables you to gain proper management of the mind, because this allows the mind to become still. It reduces all the noise, the internal noise that the mind is creating, negative noises, the noises of suffering that we are torturing ourselves with. Or perhaps another way forward, if you've never done meditation before, is to start with a simple technique like Tratak, gazing meditation. For this, all you need simply is an object placed lower than the eye level, such as a lamp or a murti or a simple dot on a piece of paper, and put it there and look at it with eyes open but slightly lowered, so that the object is below you, and that allows you to narrow your mental focus and start that process of Tratak meditation. This again can be done for cycles of 10-15 minutes, or when the eyes become watery, stop and rest for a while, and then again begin. Of course, then also there is breathing meditation and more advanced forms of technique, but all of them in the end are enabling you to move out of the mental noise, to reduce that mental noise, and to become one-pointed in mental focus. This brings enormous peace and relaxation to the mind. It's a tried and tested approach. And so Samanji's teaching on this is very helpful for managing the mind and learning how to steer it in a positive direction where we are in control. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you'll be, now considering doing some form of meditation or using one of these techniques so that you can calm your mind and be at peace. Om Araham, Om Araham, Om Araham.